Hello DCUO and YouTube. This is Legendary speaking. This is my video of DC Universe Online review. And this review will basically be talking about DC Universe. I think it's a great game. It's a fun game. I really like it and I enjoy playing the game. But there are flaws. And the biggest flaw is, well, basically helping the new players, a noob friendly game. The three big reasons are skill points, prefab mods, and easy grind. Now, starting with skill points. Orbit made a video. If you didn't check it out, please check it out. He made a video comparing 200 skill points to 100 skill points. And you honestly see no difference in stats. Not a big significant difference. That needs to change because now skill points is kind of like survival mode. Shirts. Survival mode is you don't benefit. All you get is just a shirt and to get respect. That's it. That's what skill points feel like to me now because in survival mode people be like, "Yeah, I beat round 14 and I got this shirt. Congratulations." That's it. That's all you get. And that's what skill points is nowadays. Skill points is like, you don't benefit anything anymore like how you used to back in the day. So since you don't benefit, there's no point in skill points. A guy with 100 skill points can do just as much as damage as a guy with 200 skill points. Or he can heal just as good as a guy with 200 skill points. So it's not fair. It's honestly not fair and they need to switch that up. Because, like I said, now skill points is just a number. It's nothing else. That's it. So, and clearly the guy who has played much longer, obviously you can kind of tell, who for to get 200 skill points, will feel like it's not benefiting its loyal players, its loyal customers, to the people who are not really loyal and just play this game for fun, or just once in the blue. I feel like they need to nerf or completely take out the skill point all the way below the last line, below the weapon mastery. Completely take those out and then buff up the 6 point skill point tree where it requires 6 skill points. That's where I feel like they need to do in order to make it fair, so that way skill points matters. Because right now skill points is just skill point. It's just a number now. It's nothing more, it's nothing less, and that's disappointing to its loyal customers. Because DC, I think, depends on its loyal customers more than the average player. Another thing is easy grind. Now, two things with this. One, what I mean by easy grind is now anybody who starts the game less than a week, if he farms for about 2-3 hours with a friend, he can get all his PvP gear and mods in less than a week. That's absolutely no challenge and no fun. And it's not fair, like I said. Because the guy doesn't even, like I said before, doesn't need skill points, can easily farm his gear, and get fully geared and just start beating up on people. So, they need to fix that. They need to honestly fix that because this game, DC Universe, has a bunch of players, let's just say noobs out there. And this game is, comparing, which most games are, to compare the good players and bad players. And DC Universe has a lot of bad players more than good players, and not much people can tell because everybody's fully geared. I can invite someone in a raid and he can have full 100 gear, but when he's healing or trolling or DPSing, mostly trolls. I see it in trolls mostly. They don't even know. They don't even have to throw PLT every now and then, and people will still survive with good enough power. And I'm like, dang, this troll forgets to throw PLT a lot, you know. But he's fully geared, fully modded. So it shows that, like I said before, from good and bad players. I see this in PvE a lot, mostly. Um, Another thing is PvP. I believe they need to make it harder. They need to make it more challenging, because if it's harder in PvP like checkmate days, it took me a whole month to get checkmate gear. Why? Because if you win, you get Mars's strategy, which is 2, I believe. Believe it was 2 or 1. I'm not too sure. And if you lose, you just get Mark's tactics. You benefit so much more from winning than losing, because if you win, not only you get separated marks, which is 1 tier higher, then you'll start comparing who's the really good player, who's the really bad player, and so it'll make it more challenging. So these fresh players who come to the game, they'll be like, damn, if they really dedicated to the game, if they really want to be the best, or if they want to be good, they'll have a challenge. Or people who are looking for a challenge, this will be the perfect challenge, because if you lose, you get marks, yeah, but you get marks that only can buy tier 3, or a gear or a tier under. But if you win, you get a tier higher because you won. That's what they should do, not make the marks the same. Because I remember in checkmate days, a good player would have full checkmate gear and be fully modded. A bad player would have just beta mods and just tier 3 gear. A majority of the players didn't even have tier 4 gear, because you get to see who wins a lot and who loses, and who's a good player and who's a bad player. I think DC Universe needs to do that again. I believe they should bring back Marks of Victory, and if you win, you get Marks of Victory, and you can buy tier 4. And with Marks of Valor, if you lose, you just get Marks of Valor, and you can buy tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. That's what they need to do, in all honesty. They need to bring a challenge in PvP to separate the good players to the bad players, because anyone, like I said, can be fully geared. Another thing is prefab mods. Now, meaning by this prefab mods is that simply the matter of the fact is you benefit. The only thing you benefit is, like I said, no grind. You don't have to take a long time to grind it. But look at the things you're missing out. First of all, if you farm, you get feats for farming, gathering items, and that's up to 3 skill points in total for your R&D feats. Another thing is, well, obviously, you get higher stats when you farm. You get your stats higher as a player. And lastly, the broker. And I think this is the biggest deal. And this affects everybody the most. Because prefab mods, ever since prefab mods came out, the the value of legit bytes went down a lot. I remember before prefab mods were out, the prices for exobytes stacks used to be 7 million, around averaging 4 to 7 million, and people used to make money off this. You can make good money. Now they're less than a mil. It's become so bad that they had to merge the hero and villain brokers. Now, there's a problem when they have to merge both both sides into one broker. That's how you know it's bad. And they need to fix that. They need to take out prefab mods, so that way we can see, oh, hey, look, this guy is a good player because he's fully modded. He has legit mods. He actually farmed his stuff. He got the highest gear, and he mostly won. And so he must be a good player because he wins and he farms and grinds and everything. Stop making this game a noob-friendly game, please. If the devs are watching this, please stop making this a noob-friendly game. And even with PvE is another problem. You can the biggest reason, or the biggest thing you'll notice is with Love and War and the other new T6 raids, which is Halls of Hades and Lab. Because if you look at Love and War or Law, It requires 107 CR, but you get tier 99. You get gear, you get 99 gear. But if you look at HOH or lab, you get it requires 106 CR, and you get 100 gear. Either the devs didn't think this through, or they just made it an easy grind, which I think is both. I honestly believe they made it an easy grind and it's no challenge, like I said before, because everybody can get, oh, there's the person, a new player or players who come back to the game, such as myself, say, what's the whole point of Love and War if I can just do Lab and HOH and get carried and just get higher gear, you know? So they need to fix that. They need to fix that, and it needs to happen ASAP. So overall, I give this game a 3 out of 5. It could be a 5 out of 5, but they honestly need to make those three things happen. Those are the biggest things. And then other smaller things such as fixing the counters with the late counters. I block break and then I block and then the guy just lunges me like 2 seconds later and it's still and he puts me down the ground. They need to fix that too. But I think those are the three most important things. And stop making it a new friendly game. And you know, as you can see in this video, no disrespect to these guys. These guys are, you know, cool people, but they're fully geared, fully modded, and we're just completely wrecking them. But why? Because they made it a new friendly game. They had no real challenge. And like I said before, if you have a real challenge, you'll be hooked to this game longer than with a game with no challenge. It's kind of basically saying like Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the perfect example. Look at it. It's the same repetitive game. So it gets boring after a while. You play it for a month, you get bored right away. Same with DC. Easy grind, you get bored after a month when you're fully geared. That's it, you stop playing. But if it's the challenge, kind of like Final Fantasy, where you have to constantly keep farming and grinding out to get better and to have better stats, you play for it much longer. And that's what they need to do. And lastly, lazy devs. The devs, stop making bullshit ass powers and call it munitions. That is not a power. That's all I have to say. This is Legendary DN signing out. Please post your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And hope we can save this game from completely destroying itself. Cause it's really right now hurting itself. Anyways, this is Legendary DN signing out. Peace.